Welcome back, guys. Accomplished Ventures podcast here. Today's focus is there are no magic beans. And if you are on the civilian side of the fence, you will see me talk about that a lot on Instagram. I think that in recent years, we've been disillusioned by some of these magic beans and magic coins, magic cartoons, magic animals. I'm sure I'll get plenty of hate in the comments and people in my DMs telling me how their pictures of their apes and their bitcoins have made them more money than they ever thought were possible, and that's fantastic. I love to see people win, but I'm talking about the vast majority at this point in terms of there are no magic beans. The thought process hit me this past weekend. I had the chance to go inside Friday and Saturday into a particular institution here in the U.S. And for those gentlemen that are listening to this on the other side of those prison walls, you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention any names or where I was. It's not relevant to this conversation, but the context of our conversation is not only relevant to this podcast, but relevant to the world. And one of the things that we discussed, that we unpacked, is that there are no magic beans in this life. Whether you are incarcerated or whether you are in a 9 to 5 in corporate America, the work itself is where you find the magic. And that's something that I think gets lost on many people, especially the younger generation, as they have clamored to the instant gratification of the likes and the hearts and the TikToks and the comments. And I respect it. It's a hustle, it's an idea, it's a brand strategy. I'm not knocking it. But I want to make sure that we continue to come back to the magic being in the work instead of the magic being in the magic beans. There's this idea that, and now I'm going to talk to the guys that I spoke to last week. There's this idea that the situation that you're presently in doesn't ever have to define you. It can be used as the catalyst to your future greatness, or it can be used as the crutch to your future victimhood. And the one thing that I want to pour into this podcast is that if you're going through the muck right now, I get emotional talking about this. I think about the guy sitting in white behind prison walls. If you're going through the muck right now, this will be the story that you one day tell. This will be the story that you one day tell. And the work is the difference in how you tell that story. If you choose to do your time incarcerated, intelligently, program, work on yourself, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, financial, you'll walk out of those gates with the work being the proof of your time spent inside. And if you are on these side, luckily, of the prison walls, doing the 9 to 5, working through corporate America, figuring out your why, grinding as a dad, working as a significant other, trying to build a business, trying to, whatever it is, the work is the story that you will one day tell. You don't hear the water cooler conversations of America talk about yesterday's NFL game that ended 14-13. The conversations around the water cooler are the underdog making a comeback. The conversations are around, we didn't think so-and-so or this team could make these outcomes. Those are the things that I want to pour into you guys listening to this. The work is the magic to it all. And I think we get disillusioned. You can make $1 million before noon from your mom's basement while you get 6-pack abs without doing a workout, without cutting calories. Like Instagram, no disrespect, has given us this idea that instant gratification is supposed to somehow be the work. It's supposed to somehow be the outcome. And that couldn't be further from the truth. The years, the months, the decades, the semi-annual conversations, the annual New Year's resolutions. That's the work. That's the glory. That's the part of the story that people don't want to talk about, that isn't sexy, because it's like opening a fire hydrant. You just see all of the water down the street. You didn't understand the amount of exertion and pressure and time it took to get those outcomes. And so when you sit back and you reflect, what is it that you're doing? What is it that you are not doing on a daily basis that's prohibiting you from becoming the person that you know you should be? And I promise you that answer is in the work. It could be physical work, could be emotional work, could be work with your significant other. But as men, most of the time that work is inside of us. Most of the time that work is for us to understand our perfect day, to understand what we want out of those 24 hours, those 7 days, those 365 days. What do you want to work towards so that this time right now becomes the story that you tell the world? When I was sitting inside incarcerated, I had this dialogue with my wife, and I would tell her constantly, every weekend when she would come visit, I'm going to turn this mess into a message. I'm going to take this to the world. I'm going to be on stages. I'm going to be interviewed. I want our kids in the front row. I manifested this life 2.0 that I now live on a daily basis, which is why I don't need to get up with coffee. I don't need to get up with caffeine. I don't need to get up with substances. The high that I experience right now, and for those of you who I've sat next to and spoken in front of, you know this energy that I'm talking about. It's real and it's authentic, and it's something that I want to pass along to you because it's the work. When I got released in 2013, it was the work to put forth the courses, to go back into the prison education system and say, there has to be a better way. Let me show you how we can do this together. It was the work, the constant no's, being constantly kicked out by different departments, chiefs of prison, all the egotistical political ideas that people had around prison reform. It's the work that now allows me to sit across from this computer right now and project this message to 700,000 inmates nationwide. It's humbling, but it's my story. And this is the story that I tell. There's this old quote. People sometimes attribute it to Kobe, sometimes it's Jordan, sometimes it's both of their trainers, Tim Grover. And it goes, winners define life by what they created, by what happened to them. Losers define their life by what happened to them. I'm going to read it one more time. Winners define life by what they created, by what happened to them. Losers define life by what happened to them. The difference in those two sentences is by what they created, by what you created. As you sit across from me, listening to this, reading my captions, what are you creating daily in the work that you're putting forward to tell your story to the world? I'm going to leave you with this idea. It's the idea of a Sherpa. A Sherpa, very succinctly put, are the people who are the masters of getting to the top of Mount Everest. When you've made it to a certain point in the summit, on the climb to Mount Everest, these Sherpas meet you, they take over, and they walk you through the next steps. What is base camp going to be? What's my oxygen level going to feel like? When am I going to eat? What step am I going to take at what point in time? How am I going to endure the wind? These people are masters at summiting Mount Everest. The Sherpas, they live to take you to the top. They live so that you can live. They put their lives on the line to summit Everest so that people can get to that view and tell the world their story. When you're looking around corporate America, when you're looking around your dinner table, when you're looking around your friend circle, when you're looking around the prison yard, who is it that you are becoming a Sherpa for? Whose life are you saving because you've walked this path? That's the conversation that you should start to have. That's the work. That's the magic. That's the reason I get to come back inside. It's an opportunity for me. It's a privilege, something I'm grateful for, to be able to pour in on this platform and tell each and every one of you, I'm living proof that you can manifest this. You can live your perfect day. You can design your life instead of letting the rivers and the currents take you where they may. But it's all in the work. And that's what I hope you take away from this. If you have any questions, it's travis@accomplishedventures.org. You can go to accomplishedventures.org, hit the contact me button. If you know anybody who's currently incarcerated that could use our content, happy to get in touch with them. Let us know what we can do for you. Let us know what videos you'd like to see next. And we'll see you soon, friends.